Hello, Mystery Footprints subscribers. Are you enjoying exploring Korea's intriguing folktales? Today, we bring you a tale about a treasure said to be buried somewhere in Jeollabuk-do, specifically Iksan-gun, Jeollabuk-do. In a remote mountain path in Gummamyeon, Iksan-gun, Jeollabuk-do, lay a lonely road. This secluded mountain path was the only route connecting neighboring villages. Every spring and autumn, processions carrying newly married couples in a gama would follow this very path. A gama was a traditional mode of transportation in the Joseon Dynasty. It was primarily used by high-ranking nobles, but due to Korea's mountainous terrain, it was difficult to use horse-drawn carriages. Instead, 4 porters would carry the gama on their shoulders, with a person sitting inside, allowing them to travel. However, at some point, these grand processions on the path began to disappear. One day, unknown rogues started appearing on that very path, ambushing wedding processions, plundering their goods, and kidnapping the brides. These rogues were incredibly cruel and malicious. Their notorious reputation spread, making people fearful and increasingly reluctant to use the road. Consequently, the number of people traveling on that path gradually dwindled. Meanwhile, in a village close to Gummamyeon, lived a young man named Bawi. He was diligent, upright, and kind to everyone in the village, a truly good man. Yet, he remained an unmarried bachelor, a nochonggak, in a time when people married at a very young age. In old Joseon, being unmarried was considered a great act of filial impiety. Even Bawi, despite his kindness and diligence, could not escape this societal shame. Then, one day, Bawi's elderly father met a friend in Gummamyeon and successfully arranged Bawi's marriage. Bawi was overjoyed. With a beautiful bride now promised and a way to escape the villagers' judgmental whispers, Bawi immediately ran to his future father-in-law's house. Bawi's friend, concerned, warned him about the rogues on the way back from Gummamyeon, but Bawi, filled with happiness, forgot all such worries. After spending his first night at the bride's house, Bawi rose early the next morning, preparing to return home with his new bride. At that moment, his father-in-law approached him, speaking with concern. He mentioned the wicked rogues who ambushed wedding processions on the return path, and suggested that Bawi and his bride simply stay at their house. The father-in-law offered this out of worry, but Bawi was eager to return quickly, wanting to proudly show the villagers that he had finally found a bride. They continued to discuss, and eventually, Bawi persuaded his father-in-law. But by then, dusk was already settling. As the sun was nearly set, Bawi and the wedding procession finally reached that secluded forest path. The palanquin bearers, Bawi, his father-in-law, and even the bride inside the gama were all tense. That's when the rogues appeared. They were all bald-headed, resembling monks. Bawi desperately resisted, but the rogues skillfully overpowered him. They plundered the wedding gifts and kidnapped the bride, then calmly vanished. As Bawi wept bitterly, overwhelmed by his greed and the anguish of losing his bride, his father-in-law approached him. He suggested that there was a small hermitage nearby, with a very wise monk, and perhaps seeking his wisdom would be a good idea. Rushing together, Bawi and his father-in-law arrived at the hermitage to find an old monk deep in prayer. After the monk finished his prayers, Bawi, with a heavy heart, recounted everything that had happened. The monk listened attentively, then his expression grew serious. "They are not human," the old monk began. "What? Not human? They were clearly human," Bawi exclaimed. "No, they are goblins, 1,000-year-old rats disguised as monks." The old monk's words were astonishing. It was an incredible tale. 1,000-year-old rats using magic to disguise themselves as monks, occupying a nearby hermitage and tormenting people. After finishing his explanation, the old monk reappeared shortly with an old cat. "This cat is 1,000 years old," he stated. "Now, you must do exactly as I instruct. You only have 10 days. The old monk instructed them to gather gold within the next 10 days. Create a golden cat statue. Then go to the temple entrance with this cat. Bury the golden cat statue there and watch together. Returning to their respective homes, the father-in-law and Bawi began selling everything they owned. Even as they sold their houses and fields, Bawi was desperate, fearing that his bride might suffer harm. Fortunately, thanks to the swift actions of the father-in-law and Bawi, they were able to create the golden cat statue in exactly 10 days. Exactly 10 days later, the father-in-law and Bawi arrived at the forest temple entrance, carrying the golden cat statue and the cat. That was the temple occupied by the disguised rats. Inside the temple, there was a woman holding a knife in her hand. It was Bawi's bride. And before her stood the apparent leader of the rogues, a monk with greedy eyes, staring at Bawi's bride. They had kidnapped countless brides, making them servants and tormenting them. Bawi's bride was desperately resisting their torment, holding a knife and fighting back. Seeing this, the father-in-law and Bawi quickly dug the ground, buried the golden cat statue, and placed the cat on top of it. Meow! As the 1,000-year-old cat let out a loud meow, lightning suddenly struck. The temple caught fire, and inside, enormous rats began to tumble out, burning. The goblin rats, their disguises broken, either burned to death or were bitten to death by the cat. Fortunately, Bawi's bride and the other kidnapped brides were able to escape safely. In Gurmamyen, Iksan-gun, Jeollabuk-do, there is a hill called Pimudam. It is said that this was the place where the burned-down temple once stood. Many people have searched for the golden cat statue buried there, but it has not been found to this day. Will that golden cat statue ever be discovered? What did you think of this thrilling folktale from Jeollabuk-do? Did the legend of Bawi and the golden cat spark your imagination? Thank you for joining us on this journey through Korea's mysterious past. Don't forget to subscribe to Mystery Footprints, Korea legends and sites for more captivating tales rooted in real history and culture. Until next time, keep exploring the hidden wonders of Korea.